good.
This is exciting. Live's cooking school continues with a no-fail recipe for a quick and easy marinara sauce. Here to show us how is chef, restaurateur, and the best-selling author of Farm to Table, Christian Petroni.
Christian!
Welcome. How are you?
You know,
Thanks for being here.
I never get used to hearing New York Times best-selling author. I went to summer school every year.
On.
This is amazing.
You sure
Look at us.
can.
Yeah,
All right,
You
what's
sure
the key to good sauce? Let's get started.
It's so simple, man. Good ingredients.
Okay.
If you're using good, solid ingredients, really great tomatoes that are sauced, that are sauced.
Sauce,
Yeah,
yeah.
that are sourced with a little bit of love and care. You don't have to do a whole lot. So listen,
You can use canned tomatoes.
there's nothing wrong with a good quality canned tomato. These
Okay.
happen to be from California. I love them. But the reality is like you can do a quick marinara sauce, which is what we're doing today.
Yep.
Okay.
But if you look in my book, Farm to Table, I have a very controversial 8-hour marinara sauce.
I love
Controversial.
8 hours.
Because, you know, listen, marinara is meant to be quick,
Right.
but also we love that like slow-cooked
Process.
ragu
Yeah.
sort of without the meat.
Your mom would be in that kitchen all day.
yeah.
Yes.
I heard about what she does with the garlic, how she does it whole. And then she'll
Dishes them
remove
out.
it and then
Yes.
sort of puree it
Yeah,
back
yeah.
in. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
She knows what she's
Because
doing, bro.
my father-in-law, rest his soul, would really hate if he got a piece of garlic.
The big-
Like
he would-
if
he
you
would-
got
he would always find the
He would
clove.
always
Yeah.
find the clove.
Well, you know, when you go to, and let's have some oil to our
Yes,
pan
do
while
that.
we go, but when you go to Italy, you'll see that they use much less garlic, and you know, this is good for you. This is healthy stuff.
Yeah.
So we let
I'm
it
just
go
gonna
with
keep
the olive
going, like,
oil.
until you're
yeah,
done.
till we say, right?
Okay.
And so it's perfect, you know, to talk about garlic. Here we have our garlic minced, right?
Right.
And you can see the oil starting to sort of shimmer and dance
Yep.
a little bit.
Uh-huh.
That's where we want to add it. And I brought my favorite spoon. I know it's different from yours,
that's
but this
okay.
is my
That's your
favorite
favorite
spoon.
spoon.
That's
Yeah,
your
you know,
lucky
here,
spoon.
Please, use
All
my
right, cool.
use my favorite spoon
All
today.
right.
So we're gonna go in, and listen, there's many ways to manipulate garlic, right?
It always smells good, doesn't it?
You can just, I mean, you know something good's gonna happen,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
At this point, we can put a little bit of crushed red pepper in there. We just want to start to sort of brown this garlic.
Mm-hmm.
I'll even take a little bit of basil, and like, who doesn't love this sound? You know, a little, you know,
Let me tell you,
that popping of the
The
basil.
smell of basil to me is heaven.
So, and we were talking earlier, when I was a kid, I'd get car sick. My father would take basil from the garden and put it in the air conditioning vents.
I'm
You
gonna
smell
try
Blast
that.
the AC,
So
and then, you know,
nice.
you felt like you were in a field and, you know,
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah,
off the
so
coast of
nice.
Naples, right?
Yep.
And so while this is starting to toast, we go ahead, take our food mill,
Okay.
put it right over, and dump those tomatoes in, right? That's gonna help stop the browning of the garlic. And at the same time, by running them through this food mill, you're sort of leaving behind any stems, any fibrous bits, and you're making what's called a passata. Passata meaning to be passed, right? So you
Right.
can kind of go right, clockwise, and a couple counter,
Yep.
and then you go back around, right? And then this is what you'll see that's left behind is sort of a pulp, right? Now, don't you worry about that, because if you want to stop milling, I got some that we did already.
Okay.
That I can anoint your pan with,
Thank you
some of
so
that,
much.
right? And you'll see, like, what we're talking about
Gorgeous.
here is a couple very, very simple sort of ingredients, right?
It smells so good.
At this point, we want to season with salt, right? Black pepper. Now, there's this big controversy about adding sugar to your sauce, and I respect it. I understand how people might, you know, be very offended by being told that there's been sugar put in their sauce, but the reality is all tomatoes are a little different. There's no, like, you know, they're not being cloned, hopefully, where they're always the same in each can, right? Sometimes you have more acidic, sometimes you have sweeter. So you just want to sort of get in
What
there.
about a carrot? Would you put carrot in there?
So funny you should say that, my
Yeah.
friend, because in the 8-hour version of
That's
marinara,
what my mom does.
we make,
Carrots.
dude, yeah, we would I like to shred the carrots, chop them up
More
fine.
sugar in the carrot too.
Yeah, you're getting sweetness from the carrots, you're getting sweetness from the onions, and then that sofrito on the lowest heat possible, you let it simmer for like 4 hours, man. Because then that is just like, you can add that to braises, you can add that to a lot of stuff.
So for this quick one, how long does this usually
That's it, and for what we've done so far, look how bright
It's
and sort of
beautiful.
lovely it
Beautiful,
is. It smells great.
Smells like
we got
heaven.
that toasted garlic flavor profile, and it, you know, 10, 15 minutes, right? And then
quick.
so where we end up,
How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
They are so lucky.
They're my babes.
They are so lucky.
Briar Rose and Bo, and
Yeah.
my wife is way out of my league. We have that in common, you know. And today was one of the first times that they've ever been able to sort of come in with Dad to
come to work
check
with
this out.
Dad.
Yeah,
Amazing.
So that's a lot of fun. So here we go. We have our sauce. Like you just saw what happened there, man. It's quick, it's easy, it's efficient. We cook some pasta. Like I said, we're not reinventing the wheel.
Are you somebody that adds the pasta to the bowl, or do you cook it separately and then add the sauce to it?
Yeah, so depending on what you're doing, I like to say, depending on how the wind blows, because I don't know, but the fact that I wrote a book blows my mind because I like to do things differently almost every other time, right?
Like this.
He's
But
just going. He's
sometimes,
going for it.
yeah, get in there, babe. Like, you know, I mean, listen, and he knows, tomato sauce, right? And
Sure
there's
does.
really nothing to it. So simple.
The best.
And then what we'll do is, I call this catering hall style.
Yeah.
Right? I grew up in the catering hall.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So we would just do some pasta on the bottom and then a
Amazing.
big scoop over the top, right? And then a little more what we like to call basanigol, right? A little basil
love
over
it.
the top, right?
Love it.
The undisputed king of all cheeses.
Yeah, throw the cheese on there.
And you know what I like to say? Out of any issues I've ever experienced
that.
in my life, too much Parmesan cheese.
Doesn't it? It doesn't
Never been
do.
one of them.
All right,
Never been
thank you,
one of them.
Christian. This recipe is on our website. Plus, his 8-hour sauce will also be on our website. Pick up Parm to Table. Parm to Table. Books are sold.